I used to think making money was hard, and you know, I was watching back in I think it was 2021. There was this thing with like Gamestop. It was like this stock online, and these guys basically went up against hedge funds. These hedge funds had said that GameStop was going to go close to out of business, but it was going to survive. So they all shorted the company. It means they make money when the stock goes down. And then these guys in this like online chat room started basically coming together and basically we're going to take out the big hedge funds. I'm tired of the little guy not winning. They band together and they drove GameStop up to like $480, went from like $4 to $480. And the guy was like one of the main guys doing it, made $200 million. They disappeared for 2, 3 years. Didn't say anything. All of a sudden, last month he comes on, he makes this tweet, basically has like a picture of a guy who's sitting back in his chair and leans forward, like something's happening. We gotta be ready. The next like day, the stock goes up by like 70% again. This dude had basically reinvested out of the 250 million. Actually, no, I think it was like 200 between 250 to 290 million he made from the 2021 boom. He made $250 million. He puts out of the 250, he puts about I think like he puts like pretty much like 80%. So he saved like $20 million for himself. But he put basically like 85 to 90% of that money back in, drove it back up a month ago, and now he is on pace to be able to potentially make $1 billion. And someone's like, well, he could lose it. Well, it's already gone up from 250 to 514 in the last like month. So it could double again if he keeps doing what he's doing. And the funny thing, and this don't take this wrong way. I'm saying it kind of like a joke, and like I'm going somewhere with this, so please don't think I'm being insensitive. But I was sitting here like, man, I've been working my accounting firm, and some people, my accounting firm, my business for 10 plus years, and some people work like 40 years in a career they don't like, to support their family. And it's like you work super hard, you try like hard, you put in all this time, and some random guy in a basement with a headband and a webcam just made $1 billion in 3 years. And I was like, oh. It just totally was like insane when I was like, oh crap, some random dude literally in a basement, like he's in a basement on a webcam made $1 billion in about 3 years. And I'm sorry, he hasn't quite made $1 billion yet. Okay, so he's only made $500 million. I'm sorry. I was factually incorrect, but that's just wild to me. And the actual learning point in this is making money does not have to be hard. I think a lot of people kind of associate making money with working, but they don't really understand the principle of leverage. Okay, so when you're in a business, there are 4 types of leverage you can use. And I can't remember the guy who came up with this study. I wish I could. I didn't know the 4 things. I just don't remember who made it. So I'm not claiming that I created this thought process. I just So number 1, you can always get leverage on money, right? So that's just like taking out debt, taking out like a loan, taking out funding, etc. Right? That's what most people understand, and like it's cool. And like there are different ways you can get debt or leverage, what they call it, depending on which industry you're in, to have a 0% APR. So for example, you can get an introductory credit card for about 18 months and it'll give you like 0% APR. Right? You can also go and get a revolver. You can get a HELOC. You can go and get a personal loan. You can get a business loan. You can get a lot of different types of leverage. But that's the one that most people understand. Now, for me personally, I don't like the leveraging money that much, because whenever I leverage money, I tend to just like use it a little bit different than I would for my own money. So that's kind of like a business maturity thing for me, right? Because I didn't really build my business using debt, right? Because when you're doing accounting and bookkeeping, it's a very simple business model, right? You more can leverage your time and your expertise rather than leveraging your money. So I actually had to learn that as I got more and more established in business, that just because you have extra credit and funding in a service-based business like ours, where it's not a huge amount of employees, huge amount of contractors, you don't necessarily need that to grow. So next thing is going to be leveraging your time. Okay, so this is something that I am really good at, leveraging my time. I can use 1 unit of energy, so like maybe a 20-minute, 30-minute kind of 1 unit of energy, and I can leverage that a million different ways, right? So for example, let's say I film I film a YouTube video. And this is something you guys can do. You probably won't be able to use it in the exact same way, but it's something you could do. So I sit down for a YouTube video, right? So I basically have ChatGPT. I tell ChatGPT my ideas. It basically will organize all my words into like a PowerPoint presentation. That takes me 2 minutes, and it even gives me a downloadable file. I then sit on my chair, which is where this camera is actually my phone camera is stationed right now, and I literally turn on my camera. So I turn on my webcam and I turn on my regular camera, and I go through my PowerPoint presentation. So one is just me talking, other one is like me with my presentation. From that video, I can then have that's 2 videos I can put out. So that's 2 weeks worth of content that I can put out. Then I go and take that same video, I upload it to Facebook, I upload it to LinkedIn, I upload it to Instagram, to Twitter, if I still like Instagram and Twitter, right? You know what I mean? And then from there, I can then go ask, hey, has anyone seen it? So I make another post saying, did anyone see this video? People are going to say, no, they didn't see the video. And I can send it to them, or have my virtual assistant send it to them. And then from there, I go and actually post the PowerPoint presentation straight to Facebook, like the slides. So now it's a carousel image people can go and read through. Maybe I type up like a description to it. Okay, and then I can ask people, hey, do you want me to send you this PowerPoint presentation? Then I can go back and tell ChatGPT, like originally when it made the PowerPoint, hey, put an outline to this. And then I can ask people, do they want the outline? And then I go post in my Facebook group. And then you still just keeps going back and back and back and back. And eventually you can just repost the same exact things, right? But that's one 30-minute time block has been used 20, 40 times in order to keep making more and more and more money from that unit of energy, right? That's leveraging your time. Okay. Next thing is going to be leveraging labor. So kind of like how we talked in the last example, I said I had a virtual assistant. So I'm using labor. I'm using my staff accountants. I'm using my sales rep. I'm using my controller, right, to be able to go and do the work for me, so I can take on a lot more work than what I would be if I was just doing everything myself. I couldn't run 2 businesses with just me doing every single thing myself, right? So I need to have help, right? Now, when you're doing labor, there is an extra cost, and your profit margin will go down slightly, but from the extra productivity that you gain, you're able to overcome however much you're paying that person. So for me, for example, let's say I have a virtual assistant. Each one of my let's say it's like a sales rep, like a messenger sales rep. So people who message people and then get them to want to do one of our services, right? If I pay that person $1,000 a month, the goal for them is to go and bring in $84,000 per year. So for $12,000 I put out, I get $84,000 in return per person that is messaging, right? Now it's not like I can just keep stacking on a million people, right? Because there's only so many messages we can get out, and there's only so many people that we can message, you know? So it's not like it could be infinite if I wanted to, actually. Just thinking out loud, it probably could. Just being honest with you. So who knows? Maybe that's something I look into, you know? Just keep adding like 1 new person a month to that. That could be interesting if I can get that to work. But who knows? You know, who knows? Just have the cookie crumble sometimes, right? Okay, next thing you can leverage is technology. So if you notice in that first example I talked about the 1 unit at a time, I use ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT, if you don't know what you're doing ChatGPT, it's not hard. You just have to really be able to think outside the box and just like be asking questions. So I'm doing like 1,000,000 hours of like tech research using ChatGPT and using Google, right, to really understand different aspects of like stock investing. I really like stock investing. Like a lot of people like real estate and stuff. And like, you know, we've done real estate and like it's cool and all. I personally just really like stock investing. It's just I can control it better. I understand it better. I've made more money doing that. Yeah, and it's just, I always have my phone, so I can look at it every single day, and I can just like make sure everything is kind of within the KPIs I like. So that's my personal favorite. Now I have taken, of course, like a pretty passive journey in stock investing, right? Because like my main goal, my first goal is to get like 5% a year, like on like money markets. Then I started going to like S&P and different things like that, and we started getting like, I think this year it's like a 20% return on, you know, the money. So it's like, now I'm looking for like, are there ways to make more and more and more money doing like stock investing? Because then what I can do, right, if you really think about it, let's say that you make, let's say for example you profit an extra 100,000 per year, goes straight into your savings. Now once it goes straight into your savings, and you can just like a 20% return on it, or let's say you get a 30% return on it, because I used to think you could only get like a 10% return, And I just didn't know that you can get more, right? Because I just bought into the idea that the S&P was a gold standard, so you can only get like 10%. But then the S&P rose 20% this year. It's like, wait, what? So that's just kind of like an average. It's like average out to about 10%. So what I'm trying to learn now is like, how do you mitigate the down years? So when the market goes back down, how do you mitigate that so that you don't have to go and get 10%? I want it when the market goes up 20%, I want to get at least like, 18, 19%. When it starts going down 10%, I want to sell it before it goes down, right? So I'm really trying to learn how to do that. And just like using technology allows me to be able to learn so much more, so much faster. And then using technology like advertising. So like I'm using, for example, advertising to grow my brand, right? We're trying to get our Facebook group to about 100,000 people, right? That's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of expertise. So I just got to really get that thing moving, get that thing growing, Right now we're about 40,000 people. I'm thinking, and it depends how long it's going to take to do it. I don't really know how long it's going to take. It could take a million years. It could take, another 2 months. Who knows? But that's kind of the goal that I have in place. It's going to give me an okay amount of money, so, it's not that bad. But it's still good to kind of see and kind of do it. Next thing is you can actually mix them. So one thing that I started doing recently was I would use like the introductory business credit card to pay for the advertisements for the Facebook group, right? So I'm actually mixing it. So if you think about it, I leveraged money to go and save myself time. So rather than me having to create a relationship with each one of those people, right, I use money to have an advertisement take the place of my time. And then a virtual assistant in the group that goes and talks to people and build relationships. So that's using labor. And then technology is using Facebook, right? Just the internet to be able to do it. So I'm using all forms of leverage to be able to go and grow like that, Same thing, let's say for the accounting business. So let's say we're on LinkedIn, okay? So how are we going and doing mixture reach? So I take money, so I spend like, on LinkedIn, technically we don't leverage money because we don't really use debt with it. Just, I don't know, we spend money. So let's just say we're using money, okay? Let's just say. So we spend like $100 a month on like LinkedIn Premium, right? And then from there, we're able to go and use time because I have an automation tool, which is actually time and technology. So I'm using technology to reduce my time. And then I have a virtual assistant that goes and messages people on my behalf, right? So that's again labor. So it's just like, just the more place you can learn to use leverage, the easier it is for you to like run a business and to make more money profitably. Because it's like, man, like I showed my mom this stock. It was called TQQQ, 3 Qs, and since the inception in 2010, it's gone up by 15,000%. Now, no, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not saying you should have done that or anything like that. But I was just showing her. I was like, that. Crazy. I didn't even know a stock could go by 15,000% in 15 years. That's like 1,000% gain a year. And then she's like, man, if only we knew. And it's just like, most people, if like you're over the age of like, 50, 60 years old, like you might not have had these opportunities when you were younger. And it's just like, now that these opportunities are there, you need to, well, you don't need to, but it's like, I would take advantage of those, It's one of those things where it's like, there's no reason why people who are like the reason why the guy in the headband stood out so much to me is because like I see people every single day that I speak to who are thinking about joining my mentorship program or watching this YouTube channel, and it's like you spent your entire life working hard and doing the stuff that you needed to do to get ahead. You had to go to school, you had to get a job, you had to climb the ladder. You have children, so then you have to go and save you more money for college, like start putting money away for a college fund, and it's like the game shifted. The game shifted when social media came out. The game shifted rapidly. So .com bubble, right, when internet was like more popularized, and then there was the social media kind of thing, and I'm not saying that like social media like necessarily like changed the game. It was, or that social media is this be all end all. It was the ability to communicate with an audience and a group of people that allows you to be able to spread your message and to sell your services faster. That's really the thing that people don't understand. People are like when most people are trying to like grow a business, they're still operating in the growth of their business as if it's like the 90s. Like, right? So they're trying to like cold call, they're trying to go to networking events, but it's like, why do you need a networking event when you have LinkedIn? LinkedIn will let you connect with any person you want to inside the world. You can even you can connect to Bill Gates. Same thing on Twitter, right? you can build a group and a following of people that actually like you, they trust you, they respond to you, and they actually follow along what you're saying. It doesn't need to be that large. If your goal is just to make like 6 figures, it doesn't need to be that large of a following. You really, to make 6 figures in an accounting business, you really, maximum you need is about 4,000 connections on LinkedIn. Okay? Like that's a lot, right? You could probably get away with like 2,000. I'm just, just for the sake of example. To get 4,000 connections, all you need to do is send out 30 connection requests a day for a year. 30 connection requests on LinkedIn, it takes you like 10 minutes. And you don't have to do it yourself. You can have an automation tool do it. You just gotta make sure you understand how to like talk to the right, like who are the right business owners, what do you say to them, how do you follow up, and can you do a consultation call? If you just do those, you're gonna be at 6 figures a year. And someone might be asking, well, why do I need a mentorship program then? It's like, well, you don't know who the right people are. You don't know what to say to them. You don't know how to get them interested in a consultation call. You might not know how to actually close a consultation call. So there's a lot of different factors that are with it, but it's very simple. But the game has changed. It should not have taken me as short of a time period it did to get my first $1 million in business. Like if you really think about it, like it didn't really cost me that much. It cost me about a 50% margin when I started like advertising and stuff, right? So it's like it shouldn't have been like that easy to get to $1 million, and it's gonna be even easier for me to like another $5 million, right? And not to say like I'm like this business guru or anything like that, but it's just like if you think about how hard it was for a lot of people, like I was the first time that I had the first time I saved up like a couple 6 figures in the bank, I was like complaining to my mom. I was like, man, I see some of these guys on the internet, man. They're making like $1 million a year. They're making $10 million a year, man. And then she goes, most people never even save up more than $100,000 in their life. And I took a step back. I was like, that's interesting. I never thought about it exactly like that. I had an uncle who basically died with pretty much $0 in his account. Right? His heart gave out from like stress. And, it's just a very crazy world we live in. Like if I had been born, 20 years earlier where I didn't have this and I was, it would have been way harder. But that's why I'm so like bullish when I'm like telling you guys like, hey, let's go. When I say bullish, that means like bear versus bull. Bull means it's going to go up, bear means it's going to go down. So I'm so bullish. I'm like, hey, you guys need to take advantage of this, right? And I understand like maybe you don't understand how to use the internet to grow a business, but that's why I'm here to help you so that you don't have to go through those different challenges that most old business owners would do. People ask like, why is online business so much better? It's like, bro, it costs you nothing to start except for your time. You can go contact any person on the planet and you don't have to really spend that much time. You can spend like 30 minutes to an hour a day and you're going to get a new client like once or twice a week. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it doesn't make sense for me to hold all information for myself because I can't take on 1 million clients. Like if I could take on every client in the world and I had just the capacity to do it, or if I had the want, even the want to do that, then I would. But it's just like I don't want more than 100 clients. I don't want more than so many. For our mentorship program, we only accept 10 people a month maximum for our mentorship program because I like spending time with the people. And it's just like if you do a really good job and you have a really good investment plan and you understand how to like really mitigate taxes, you don't need $1 million a year. You can really you can make a lot of money off of $200,000 per year. And that's what it takes. Okay? So hey, hopefully you guys learned something new. Sorry, I was a little bit excited, a little bit kind of all energy all over the place, but hey man, I really believe in this stuff. It changed my life. I'm sure it can change yours. If you want some help growing your business, go ahead and click the link inside the description. Book a call. Let's see if I can help inside our mentorship program, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. I believe in you, even if it feels like maybe I believe in you more than you. It's not because, I want to, pump you up. I just see the potential in everyone. I see the potential in you, okay? So if you ever need someone to talk to, just a comment away. You can reach out to me on Facebook as well. Answer some questions you might have and see if there's a good fit for us to potentially work together, okay? Talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.